boom. Bang, 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 bang. Alright, well, this has been an interesting part. If anybody wants to come in the chat, there's a link out there. Pretty much said everything I need to say about that video. I just think, as far as people on the left, whatever, just need to get their heads out of their buttholes concerning what is fascism, what are Nazis, where's that meanings? Krypton Mary, good to see you. Other than that, I'm chilling tonight. I'm chilling, I'm feeling good. I don't, I'm not holding on to these things. They're not invading my headspace too much. So that's good because I get to just kind of speak and release. I got into a meeting this morning. Mike is making the sound like it's not plugged in all the way. Never go full commie. Definitely can adjust my microphone settings. Check, check, 1, 2. Check, check, 3, 4. Check, check, 5, 6. See, this looks like the one that is coming through most clearly. Was it on the 5 and the 6 or the 3 and the 4? I'm going to go with this one. Alright, we're good. Yeah, I'm just tired of, I'm really tired of leftists making bad arguments. I'm tired of atheists making bad arguments for the rest of atheism like they are representative of the whole. Really blows my mind. People can be like, well, we in these spaces, now it's bad again. I'm gonna go with some fun. Do this takes a little bit longer, but that's fine. I can go where I'm at independently. Patience is a virtue, they say. Let's see, Ranting Monkey is live now. Ranting Monkey always wants to stream at the same time as me. I know it's not his fault. Oh no, somebody subbed and unsubbed that quickly. It's amazing. And I got 218. Somebody subbed and unsubbed that quickly. It's amazing. God, that is pretty bad, sorry. And I got 218. Damn, I have going? Damn, I have going? This is terrible. Damn, I have going? Beep beep. Beep beep. Alright, now we're getting closer. Let me check my settings in StreamYard. Beep beep. Now we're getting closer. Video settings. Oh. See the. Derp derp. There we go. I win. I win again. If you build it, they will come. Come on in and chat. Just hanging out. Probably get myself another copyright strike. If not. Yes, we win. It is a collective effort here. Otherwise, I would have been none the wiser until I listened on playback and figured out that the sound was shit. StreamYard has not been working optimally for me lately. Which is why I'm going over to Prism for the most part. Like, the streams have been fairly solid. It seems to like make the cuts for me. Like, instead of like StreamYard will just like give me blank time or like cut out. Prism will just like cut the video and be like, oh, that sounds like shit, and then it'll just skip to the next segment or something. And then I tried to do this pre-recorded thing earlier. Well, I did this pre-recorded thing earlier, and I went to upload, and it only had a portion of the file, so that's why you had the 3-part video instead of the 2-part video on Jay Bundy there. Yeah, come on in. I guess that's one more thing I could do on YouTube, is pin the stream link. I always forget to do that. I'm having a good day. I found out I got an unrequested pay raise, $2 an hour, bumped up. So happy about that. My check looked really good, but unfortunately, because I had a potential fraud on my account, my bank account is actually frozen. So now I've got money sitting in there I can't use. I'm hoping they'll be able to fix that in the morning. But yeah, I looked at my paycheck and went, this can't be right. And then I went back and looked at everything, all my pertinent company information. And it's like, oh yeah, we gave you a raise last pay period. Oh, cool. I didn't ask for that. Well, I probably should have asked for that, but they just did it because, I've been working for the company about a year and 6 months now, so that's awesome. On Twitch, Rumble, and X. Prism has a free version. I use their free mobile app, and it's been working pretty good for me so far. They also have a paid version. But you can live stream through Prism. It's like StreamYard. You can send it to whatever platform you're using. I'd recommend giving it a shot. Better than okay, I'm going to the food bank. Yes, absolutely. I've had a lot of support here at home since I've gotten back, which has been great. Went to a Buddhist-based recovery meeting this morning, which was fun. I always enjoy that crowd, and met another musician, so we might have some collaborations going on. And they had a surprise. Uh, well, you call it a lunch, an early lunch. So we had some pulled pork sandwiches and street tacos and stuff that they made for us. So that was good. I was happy with that. Dealing with food scarcity is not fun. Today I'm trying to deal with like. So I had a dispute with one of my other employers, not my main employer, my side employer, and I was going to the labor board over this dispute, and it seems like they got the hint. Like as soon as I filed a complaint with them through the company, and then I filed this labor board dispute, all of a sudden our problems uh, seem to resolve themselves. So I don't think they want to deal with the lawsuit because I'm pretty sure I have a legitimate claim there. But it's not really something that I want to invest too much into either if I don't have to. So now that we're all on the same page, um, cool. Just compensate me fairly, and we'll be good. This is just a side gig for me. I don't really need all that in my life. But I had, people in my life defending the employer. Like, why do you want to make waves? I was like, I have, rights in this state as an employee. Pretty sure. Like, and I'm all for like, okay, yeah, I'm glad to be working, but I don't need to be grateful to have a job. I'm a good fucking worker, more often than not. I've definitely had my moments, but uh, it's like I don't need to be, sucking extra fucking whatever um, to have a job, right? If I do good work for you, I arrive on time, I do what I'm supposed to do. I don't need to bend over backwards for my employer, right? They need us as much as we need them. Without employees, the company cannot fucking function. You need your employees to run your business. You must understand that. Unless you want to do it all yourself. I mean, that's completely up to you if you want. But that's not the way this company works. And I kind of knew it. I was like, no, there's something wrong with this. Like these customer service people, these employee support people, which I guess are like one and the same. I don't know how that works, but they're just shining me on. They couldn't really, give me an answer. They couldn't give me. And as I said, I was like, this person's being rude to me. They have no solution for the problem I'm having. And then the other night, this person literally fucking hung up on me in the middle of the call. They said, well, I have other people to attend to. And after I had said, I need to speak to your supervisor, and they acknowledged and they said, oh, I'm going to escalate this situation. And then they fucking hang up on me. Unacceptable. Fucking bullshit. Anyway, so I go through all that stuff, and now we're here. It's fine. Work for was nuts. I thanked her for firing me. I didn't want to get stabbed because she was in a dispute with her neighbors. Oh my goodness. This is too much drama. Like, there should not be this much drama involved in going to work and making money. Like, it's a really, and I'm not talking about, it's a really fucking simple process, I perform a service for you, you fucking pay me, that's it. Like, there is nothing, like, beyond that transactionally here. Like, I can understand if I was, administrating in some capacity, like, something, but this is just bullshit, right? Fucking utter bullshit. This is my 4th cigarette in 2 hours. whatever. Still not smoking weed. 9 days without weed. I really wanted to get a joint earlier, and I had the money, but I was like, "Fuck it," and I just took a nap. So that's it. I don't know. I guess I can read a little bit. I've got some stuff to read here, queued up. Actually, I'm not sure how far through this article we got on chaos theory. This is part of a book. Oh no, wait, these are a number of references to various books from Science Direct here. Constructing Post-Classical Ecosystems Ecology. 1.2 Chaos Theory. Chaos theory has had enormous impact on all sciences and on popular culture as well. Thus, it is not surprising that ecology has been influenced by its results. The study of deterministic chaos dates back at least to the homoclinic tangles Poincare discovered in his solutions to the three-body problem. However, it was not until the 1970s that scientists began to realize the significance of deterministic chaos with the advent of digital computers powerful enough to simulate the time evolution of low-dimensional systems of non-differential equations. An important early result of such simulations, the significance of which was only recognized a decade later, was a paper by meteorologist Edward Lorenz. Again, we go back to Lorenz. It's going to be very prolific in this work. Lorenz's paper documents results of his simple, three ordinary differential equations, but nonlinear model of atmospheric flow. The results of Lorenz's computer simulation and the equations for critical parameter values turn out to be an articulation of the two main features of chaotic systems. The first is a periodicity. In the critical regime, a trajectory generated by his model settles into an attractor. That is, the trajectory remains confined to a region of state space, but it does not repeat. Such attractors have been termed strange attractors. In the same regime, the trajectories generated also exhibit initial conditions sensitivity. That is, nearby trajectories diverge exponentially. Another way of putting this is that when repeatedly running the simulation with different but arbitrarily close starting points, the resulting trajectories become no more similar than two runs with starting points chosen at random from anywhere in space. Initial condition sensitivity has a profound implication for the prediction of chaotic systems. In order to accurately predict even the medium-term behavior of such a system requires measuring the initial conditions with infinite accuracy. Thus, even though chaotic systems are governed by deterministic dynamic laws, predicting their medium-term trajectories is in principle impossible. Both features only occur for some critical parameter values, however, their existence is independent of initial conditions. Since Lorenz's pioneering work, physicists have examined chaotic models for a wide range of systems, most notably for turbulent fluid flow. However, a paper published in 1976 has direct relevance to ecology. In that year, physicist turned mathematical ecologist Robert May published his study of the iterative behavior of the logistic map in nature. The logistic map is a very simple, discrete, nonlinear mapping of a population, expressed as a variable x ranging from 0 to 1, onto itself. Despite its simplicity, it exhibits a wide range of behavior when parameter values are varied for low values. Repeated iteration of initial conditions result in the mapping reaching a particular point value. There's that figure A. I don't know what that figure is. Let's try and figure that out. So, yeah, concept of temperature. There's just a theoretical context of classical geography. There's so much in there. As relates to chaos theory. What do you think of the implications of artificial intelligence within the parameter of these theories? I mean, I tend to think that if we leave these systems, right, if we leave them to their own devices, like, say you were to design an AI. No, please, that's fine. If you were to design an AI that is simulating life, say, and you were just give it like this simple input, say we have a simple structure that creates the components, the possibility for living organisms, and say run every different variation on this that you could possibly design over a period of time. AI would probably come up with some complex system representing the diversity of life that we now can observe. So I think, like simulation theory is great because, it says that we might all be living in a computer generated program. I mean, it's not far from the realm of possibilities. Sometimes making art, I think it's like training a cow, not a horse. Yeah, I guess I would agree with that. I mean, look, you could probably ride a cow, but it would be pretty slow going. I don't know what you want to train a. Yeah, when I think of like, you have wild animals become domesticated. And you have domesticated beasts like humans that desire to be wild. Oh, you say they can go fast, but they have a mind of their own? I think cows do have minds of their own. It's just a limited expression. Like horses can read people, and people can read horses in a certain way. I don't know. I mean, I think cows can read people too. They just respond differently. Like when you see cows going to the slaughter, they seem to know they're going to be slaughtered. They just don't have a mechanism for a good mechanism for resistance. You can look at other animals. They seem to be more resistant to our interventions, but again, like those animals haven't been domesticated to the same extent that cows have. Like the modern cows we have are nothing near to their ancestors because they have been domesticated over so many generations. Kind of like the difference between canines that we keep domestically and wild canines. Like we have changed their whole the whole dynamic between them and ourselves and the environment around them to where they would not survive without us. The same is probably true of cows, and we haven't been able to do that to other creatures necessarily. But I mean, when you're talking about an artificial intelligence as opposed to a naturally arising one, right? One that occurs in nature and evolves through interactions, right? AI is processing of information by a complex system with a variety of inputs, right? Domesticated creatures have their inputs limited artificially by ourselves. So it's only under the construct of like a human intelligence. Doing animation has been surreal this past year. It's not Photoshop. What have you been using? I'm interested. I don't know as far as animation is concerned. When I think of animation, I kind of think of the old school style of animation, like when we tend to put pencil to paper or something like that. Good job, buddy. Like things that we can construe out of the human mind. It's very surrealistic. Like when I see things that are AI generated, it tends to seem like something that we would put together through like what we used to call CGI, right? But humans would have to put in each component to create the image. Now AI can take vague concepts and extrapolate all of those component pieces to create an image. Get strikes from Rumble on your art? That's very interesting. I thought Rumble was supposed to be like the platform that lets like anything go. Like that's why people who get banned from YouTube go to Rumble, right? I don't know what the I think I've been on Rumble once. I don't know what their TOS is. You know, I always find it funny because like people on YouTube, like I had somebody in the chat a couple nights ago who refused to put the word transgender in the chat. They kept referring to T's. And I was like, as far as I know, you know, in my experience, right, I've never been timed out or banned from any chat, or none of my YouTube videos have been flagged for talking about transgender, for using the word transgender. It's just not a thing, right? Because nothing I've said has been anything that could be construed as misinformation or hate speech, right? And so I only think in that context, if you put something up and it could be construed that way, then you have a TOS violation. If you, right? Like, even people who critique it, look at like Matt Walsh, hasn't been taken down off of YouTube. He says plenty of problematic things, but I mean, if you know how to use language and you understand the parameters which are allowed for speech, it's only if you just, you know, go around saying I don't know. I don't know what the rules are over on Rumble. All I'm saying is that nothing I've ever said has been like flagged or taken down for that reason. So I don't know. Maybe it is the use of language. Maybe we. Got the same channel as playing. Yeah, X is really really loose. I saw a picture of a woman's vagina on X recently. Just and it was in like I wasn't even subscribed. It was in like the recommended in my feed. I was like, okay, that's a vagina, and they're putting like so. I've had people send me porn on X, like really. It's almost like no holds barred since Elon took over, I guess. Because I see all kinds of crazy shit on there. I don't even think I can go through my X feed on YouTube anymore because I will almost certainly get a violation. Because they don't even have like blockers up to be like sensitive content warning or anything like that. It's just anything goes. But I'm subscribed to a lot of good feeds on X. Most of it is science based stuff. So that's kind of, you know, whatever. It's not something I'm too terribly worried about. Yeah. The link should be pinned there. You can come up as you like. Kiss gone to heaven. I also had this shared with me recently. Case report of instantaneous resolution of juvenile macular degeneration blindness after proximal intercessory prayer. This is a PubMed article. Abstract. An 18-year-old female lost the majority of her central vision over the course of 3 months in 1959. Medical records from 1960 indicate visual acuities, VA, of less than 20/40 for both eyes, corresponding to legal blindness. This is 2400, but as far as I know, I don't know. Okay, so it's 20 to 400 for both eyes, according to legal blindness. On fundus examination of the eye, there were dense yellowish-white areas of atrophy in each fovea, and the individual was diagnosed with juvenile macular degeneration, or JMD. In 1971, another examination recorded her uncorrected VA as finger counting on the right and hand motion on the left. She was diagnosed with macular degeneration and declared legally blind in 1972. Having been blind for over 12 years, the individual reportedly regained her vision instantaneously after receiving proximal intercessory prayer, PIP. Subsequent medical records document repeated substantial improvement, including uncorrected VA of 20 to 100 in each eye in 1974, and corrected VAs of 20 to 30 to 2040 were recorded from 2001 to 2017. To date, her eyesight has remained intact for 47 years. Of course, I don't see corroborated there's an abstract here. PubMed disclaimer. Like usually you would see articles that actually give further information. The disclaimer says these resources are scientific literature databases offered to the public by the U.S. National Library of Medicine. NLM is not a publisher, rather collects, indexes, and archives scientific literature published by other organizations. The presence of any article, book, or document in these databases does not imply an endorsement of or concurrence with the contents by NLM, the National Institute of Health, or the U.S. federal government. What's up, Crypto? How you doing?
Oh, hi. Sorry. Just saying hi to the side chat. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good. No, I was saying about the AI art, so I wanted to show you one of the pieces I did. There's no
Yeah.
music, so it's totally, you won't get in trouble for it. I
I get in
won't sue
trouble for
you.
everything.
Yeah, so do I. More than you know. Also, you were saying about, like, I don't know if you know about some of these new laws they're trying to push through up here, like with freedom of speech. It's actually getting pretty dicey, but hopefully with Klaus in the hospital, RIP, dude. Hopefully things will tone down here on the commie level. Sorry, bad jokes, but it's just gotten so weird in Canada. It's not even the same country. And some of it's just so weird. I'm like, and every news story. Okay, this is going to be dumb. Oh yeah, that's Canada. Yeah, like it's like South Park wrote our future. They were like, and Trudeau is like, yeah, this is how we should like run Canada, like just into the ground. But no, is it okay to share this?
Yeah.
Okay, I just gotta
Yeah, let's
rewind
see.
it. Hopefully it shares. There we go. Give me a second. Thank you.
No worries. I think it's beautiful. I mean, so is that something that got banned previously, or
Well, I lost my whole channel.
on YouTube or
Yeah,
on Rumble? Oh, okay.
on YouTube. Yeah, I had it 13 years, but you know, it's probably better hide the evidence. You know how live streams go. I'm sure Wild feels like that after last night.
He's still going though. He put up another one tonight. I think he's sleeping over there.
Well, that's probably a good thing. You're,
Yeah.
you can't unsee that. It's like, dude, just I can't unsee. No, don't do that on live streams. Like,
I think he's pushing the limits to see what he can get away with.
or just yeah, there's something there. Just I have other. We all have other stuff, especially when like if I misgender someone, I could go to jail. Like
Yeah.
in a yeah. So you think I and also you know me. So if it's a dude in a dress, I'm gonna call you sir. Like sorry, not trying to hurt anyone's feelings, but I get confused and I don't. And it's just gone too far here. It's gone too far. You know, we just have different politics here. And C63 is going to, like, here's the danger with this. It's not even like you're going to offend someone right now on social media. You have the potential to offend someone on social media in the future. So, we're just, if it gets past any point, the cops can walk in, throw an ankle bracelet on me, charge me $70,000, or even potentially throw me in jail indefinitely. So, how didn't we turn into China? Yeah, you talk about lefties, I'm like, yeah, I'm on your boat. Feel your pain, dude.
Well, this is why I've been saying, like, it seems like it's just common sense now not to assume gender and just to go neutral with pronoun uses. Um,
My pronouns are FA, FO. I refuse to use them. I'm sorry. I feel like it is a it is trying to assert dominance in a conversation by someone like they've never been an issue. But when I go into a conversation in a business meeting and they're like, oh, hi, can we just start out with all the pronouns? We're on the same page. And we are either peers or I'm their superior. I have an issue. It's like, sorry, this meeting ain't happening. We're done. I'm not dealing with drama. That's just flat out. Like if because it's a passive way to assert dominance in a conversation. You by like making you feel guilty. And it's like, sorry, I will address you by your name or your rank. How about we go back to that? You know? And I usually do address people like people. I get so much in trouble in church because I would be just out of politeness gender neutral, and now it's goes so far when I was getting in trouble for it on one side, I'm going to get like in jail for the other side. I'm just like, I give up. I give up. Can people just get therapy and fix themselves and quit all this nonsense? We have World War III on our shores. Can we get on that page?
Greetings, William, or Wooly, and Share. Am I still? I don't know if I'm muted or unmuted at this point. Oh, okay, you can hear me. Uh, I think addressing people by their names, great solution. Um, I do think some people. I don't think it's the majority of people, but some people are using that as for like social dominance. Um, to say, oh well, my voice needs to be heard because I am trans. My voice needs to be heard because I am a person of color. But I think when you said, like, people just need to get therapy, that's actually what a therapist will tell you to do. Like, they will want you to assert yourself in social situations so that you don't feel marginalized. They say, well, if only you would speak up, then this wouldn't happen to you. But the problem with that is that when they do speak up, um, then people are saying, "Oh, well, you're just doing that for clout. Like you're only raising your voice to and so there's a problem there. Like because we all want to be acknowledged for who we are." Um, and I think that should be something in our society. It's like just
Absolutely agree, but I don't think I should face jail time because I was confused at work one day and I lose my job and I go to jail. That's how far it's gone in Canada.
yeah. I mean, I don't know about being jailed for speech. I think there's a fine line there once we start limiting the freedom of speech. But I also think that, like in terms of social media platforms
You have
and
no idea about our laws and what's I'm trying to fight in the Senate. And a lot of Canadians are because nobody cares, but we are losing. We don't have the 1A here. We are losing free speech. We already lost being able to share news stories, basic news stories on Facebook. Okay? That's how serious it is. And when we had a fire up in Yellowknife, people couldn't get information. We almost had something like Maui on our hands.
Like who?
Like Hawaii, we had a massive fires up there, and it turned out to be four arsonists. Oh yeah, we'll track you because it's the north, and there's not a lot of people up there. So yes, if you set a fire, we will find you. Yeah, but this is a sad fact because people couldn't get information because the Canadian government is trying to impose all these restrictions on these entities like Facebook. And they're like, we're not going to pay. We're just going to say you can't have news here. That's fine. Funny how that works. This is communism. It's not healthy.
Well, yeah. I mean, maybe the restrictions have gone too far, but there is an issue with the internet. Like anybody can post anything on the internet. Use this, Google it as a resource for fact finding, and you can find a million different resources, right? Like not all of them are credible. Anybody can post their opinions about a thing and it becomes relevant, right, through online searching. But then you get seeded with disinformation that way, right? Like we come to find time and time again, like Fox News has covered stories, and if you actually travel down the rabbit hole to find out it just came out from some, you know, Yahoo on the internet who didn't actually research anything. They didn't do any of the investigative work. They just kind of would posted their opinions on a blog post or something, and that gets reshared a billion times, and then now it's relevant somehow.
But
And
what
it's
if
a
it's a prime minister doing it? Because there's credible proof that he has done this. It's not just like we're going through major parliamentary hearings because he has basically paid off our media. So, but pronouns are important. We have World War III on our hands. We have 3 days worth of ammunition, but tampons in the men's bathrooms up here. And pronouns, because they're important, right? Sorry, I'm very cynical tonight. I Please take me with a little grain of salt.
That's fine. I mean, I don't know what's going on in Canada. I'm not there. I can only attest to what's going on in California. We're one of the most liberal states in this union, right?
Oh,
And
I've been
but we
following
used
San Francisco. You guys are beautiful down there now.
San Francisco was never that bad. I mean, really, the pieces that you see on the news, I mean, it's a lot of it's hype. Like, yeah, we have a
Oh, they
homelessness
definitely
crisis. We
cleaned
have
it up when the Chinese leader came because I was going through all the live streams. It's different when you're seeing what on the news and seeing a live streamer and going through like you see one person and then you go through like 20 other live streams and then 20 other live streams in other communities. And it just adds up and adds up. And then I can go downtown and see the same thing. What is going on? What's the bigger issue going on the West Coast?
the biggest issue seems to be that we can't provide people with the resources to feed and house themselves, right? Like people can, we've got people here who work full time jobs and then some, and still are living in their vehicles because, and the cost of housing is so outrageous, right? And they have this expectation that you need to earn three times in your monthly income what it costs to be homed, right? Where that's just not realistic for most people. Most people just aren't earning that much. And so their solution is, well, you fit three families into a single unit. That's how people make ends meet out here. And yet they've refused to do anything about rent control. William, you asked why I only mentioned Fox. No other unit news media sources are guilty of it too. But I think Fox has been like one of the worst. So yeah, I mean, there's
I
this.
hate to say it, I'm a little biased towards Fox. Like when Christmas and New Year's, like I was in, there was like such a small community in that live chat, and we were all like family, so I do have a little soft spot for Fox News.
I I do not like. I don't really give any of them slack at this point. Like that's why I don't watch major news broadcast, whether it be Fox, CNN,
It's
or any of
different
the
when
others.
you're on the other side of the desk and you are actually more part of like I can't even get into the stuff I went into with Al Jazeera on here. That's like a whole other channel. Yeah, I get involved with these companies and they become like family. Your coworkers, even though you're just volunteering.
It's interesting. I think Al Jazeera got kind of taken down back in like the '90s, early 2000s. Like how they're relevant is kind of a question of who holds wealth. Like wealth equals power. Like there's big money backing them. That's the only reason they're still relevant. Like their sources have been deemed fraudulent for years.
I was almost a moderator on their live chat years ago. So it is sort of like family, just awkward.
That big dysfunctional family. Yeah, I don't know. Like I, that's why anything that occurs on the news, I'm like, okay, I'll look at it. And again, like with this whole crisis of homelessness here in California, like I see it on the ground level. So I listen to what they say on the news, and then I look at what's actually going on around me, and I try to extrapolate some truth from that. And I realize that whatever's going on in the media is being overblown. It's always being exaggerated. There is never a time when the news media is not exaggerating whatever actual crisis we're experiencing and then confusing why it is happening, right? Because they have a bias. They have a bias towards the wealthy because they are owned by the wealthy. So they will
And
never
here it's
address the
everything
actual problems.
perfect.
They will
Oh,
never address the actual problems
yeah,
that
I totally
underlie
agree.
it.
Well, I've been pulling up some articles about California. How do you think the minimum wage increase will impact this whole situation?
It'll be negligible because there is no cap in the housing market. There's no cap on gas prices. They're not doing any of those things to mitigate. So every time the wage increases, they just raise prices, and the cycle continues. It doesn't actually benefit anybody.
Do you feel like I don't know because I've always like I had cousins in California and family there, so it always seemed like the dreamland. And then so, like I don't know if you've ever seen the channel German in Venice.
No, I'm not familiar with them.
You look it up. He's more in California, like Gold's Gym along Venice Beach, and I've been horrified. It's like I watch it on TV, Baywatch reruns, and then I see his videos. I'm like, "Ew, I can go to beach here and see junkies and temps." So I mean,
Well,
yay!
Baywatch was never reality anyway, so
No, it
that's another.
wasn't,
Yeah.
but
I mean, they do things to, essentially with the homeless. What we do here at this point is just push them around. We want to move them from one space to another, depending on, like you said, if we have events going on or something like that. There's no real attempts to alleviate the crisis. Most of the time, they blame the people who are unhomed, and it's sad because there was a study done, not, I think it was during the pandemic, and so there are more vacant rooms available in this state, than there are homeless people, right? You could fill all of those vacant spaces that go unrented, dilapidated properties. You could put people in those spaces, but they refuse to lower the prices. Um,
I look at the eastern states for that. That's why I look at like places like Kentucky and West Virginia, and I know a lot of these places are like, why would you? It's such a huge risk, but if you can, I 25,000 to buy a home, probably 15 to fix it up, and it's not adding that much maybe in terms of value if I just sell it for basically I'm not making a profit, but I'm giving a bit, a neighborhood a home. It's just what neighborhood, because some of these homes, like, is it going to be a community that grows?
well, a community already exists there.
Yeah.
They're an unhomed community, so they have to build their houses out of plywood, right? And it's true. A lot of these people are unemployable,
Yeah.
which is
Well,
a separate problem that could be addressed. But in
yeah.
terms of, you're not making a profit of it anyway, in terms of the landholder, because nobody can afford to rent the property. So they
Yeah.
sit vacant, and then they complain about these
And
vacancies,
then it
right?
becomes totally dilapidated. Like
Mm-hmm.
I pull up case after case on my blog of different, like, it doesn't matter the state. Like, one was right outside this church, and it took them 3 months with city council to get it cleaned up. Just because, and it wasn't just a dilapidated house. Someone started dumping all this garbage there.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just the house. People are like, oh, well, no one cares about it. All of a sudden, this property's destroyed. And it's right outside a church, eh? you know,
Yeah,
good
we
to
have.
good news that one got cleaned up, and they actually, between the church and the city, are organizing kind of a neighborhood watch. So if they catch people dumping, they can get their plate numbers, or if they see a mess, it's cleaned up right away. So you're not getting rats, you're not getting more garbage because people think you don't care.
The amazing thing about it is that, the people who are doing the dumping, right, are the people who have homes, right? They have excess materials, right? It's an old refrigerator, a washing machine that broke down. They, decided to replace it. They didn't want to pay to go to the dump, So they dumped it on some vacant property, right? Homeless people will repurpose all of this stuff.
Oh yeah.
They will find a way. Like they take things that other people throw in the trash and make use of them. So
Oh,
it's really counterintuitive to,
yeah.
yeah. Like
Oh
that's why
man.
my model is housing is a basic human right. If we give everybody
It is.
shelter, they
It
will
is.
make do.
But here's a question. It might be loaded. Do you think it's right that states evaluate private citizens' homes? Because this is something that happened in Vancouver, where the city was like, okay, your house is now, it doesn't matter, it was in your family for hundreds of years, it's a historical property, and you have to have three secondary suites in your place, whether you like it or not. So basically, families in Vancouver lost houses, like their estates, over. And yeah, some of these people were like, this is great. I wanted a secondary suite, extra income. But a lot of people were like, I do not want strangers in my place. And all of a sudden, the city owns your house, essentially, in Vancouver, if it's deemed historical. Like that's
Yeah.
how scary it is getting up here. That isn't that communism, like, or how it starts or
Well, I think
something.
we've been doing that for a while in the states. Like anything that is over a certain, I don't remember what it is, but if it is over, you know, X amount of years old, then it could be considered historical and it will be preserved. The
It
state will make
usually,
every attempt to preserve that property.
oh yeah, we used to have those laws here, and then all of a sudden in Vancouver, it reversed, and instead of it taking permits years to process, the city, even if you didn't file a permit, they would just go in and take your house. That's And this was like a decade ago, but it was kind of like a canary in the coal mine, you know?
Yeah, I mean that's a little different. I have so my views about private property probably differ from a lot of people's. I mean, I really don't think you should be able to own without legitimate use a number of properties or you know land as it were, if you are not using them. And this goes
Just
back to
as
the
investment.
housing thing. Like just owning a
I agree
house
with
in
that.
the city and not maintaining it, right, doesn't give you rights, right? If your vacant house becomes run down in the city, I think that city should have an obligation to take over that property. They should take that from you, and that's actually you know, I think more, to go a little more extreme, those people should be considered negligent property owners. They should actually be charged for negligence in those cases, right? You can't just own property
Yeah.
and leave it there without using it. I don't think that should be a thing.
Well, I totally agree. I see a lot of it's called I think it's called speculative real estate. They just think the land's going to be worth more than the building. So it's easier, if they let that one go, even through separate holding companies, so it doesn't really look like them, they can actually buy up more of the neighborhood. Like it's gentrification, it's systems that go into cities for your decades, generations since we've had cities, it's scary.
Yeah, so I'm pro socialist in this point. I'm pro communist. I think we need to adjust the parameters of what private property ownership means, what the expectations are for property owners. Um, you know, for people who are operating businesses or living out of these establishments, okay, that's one thing. But again, for people who just own homes that are not theirs. They don't live in them, right? They're there to be rented to others, to be out, right? The expectation should be that if you have a rental property, it should be rented out. And if it remains vacant for a number of years, that is on you. And if it becomes run down over a period of time, again, that's on you. And if the city decides, you know what, you're not using this space efficiently, it's in fact become essentially a blight on the rest of us, then yeah, we can take it from you.
Well, I
And
have pulled up some hoarder cases on my blog or squatters, and it's just like, I'm sorry, but sometimes, like, if it's like, this is why when me and my second husband, we had a house because his family was going through probate. So if someone wasn't living in there, they could have taken it over, or if something happened, his family would have lost all the insurance, in the whole case. And his mom really hated us being there. She really did. We did pay rent, and I did really clean. She was really happy. I cleaned really nice after, but no, she really did not love us being there. She just wanted that case done.
oh yeah, I'm sure.
Just, well, it takes 2 years if you don't have a will in Canada. If you don't have a will, your entire estate goes through probate, and it takes 2 years for the courts to settle it out. That's just how it is. So you gotta watch your properties.
Yeah. Court inefficiency is like a whole thing in and of itself. I
Oh
think this
God,
applies
yeah,
to,
I'm sure
yeah.
you can appreciate that in Cali.
Mm.
Yeah, catch and release. Might as well just be fishing. Like, oh no, no, he only stabbed 3 people, and hey, he only stole $800 from the Target, so he's off the hook. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Totally
Yeah,
with
but
it.
not so worried about that, but in terms of things like parental rights, in terms of things like squatters' rights, there are enough cases where, okay, like in terms of parental rights, cases are given to the mother. They're given to
Yeah,
the mother in child custody cases, right?
yeah.
Without any investigation by the
Oh
court. The
God, yeah.
court makes no attempt.
Yep.
They are uninvolved, and if you can't disprove a claim being made against you, you are considered guilty until proven innocent.
Oh God, sometimes it doesn't matter how many times the guy goes to court. Oh well, it's a mom, and meanwhile she's like, some of these kids didn't even have half a chance with these regulations. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I agree. There needs to be a better fairness in courts with parental rights. It shouldn't be biased. It should be what's in the best interest of the child.
Well,
And
that's what
so
they say.
oftentimes it is with the dad. Like, but they don't even have a chance because of all these, traditional laws. So I agree with, we need changes in the system.
Yeah, and kids, at least in my state, are treated as property. I mean, and the possession rule applies to children.
Are you
Possession is
kidding
9/10
me?
of the law.
Kids are not property. Oh my God, I didn't realize that about Cali law. I'm never moving there now. Hell, I'm not even taking my kids to Disneyland after hearing that. Like
Well, as long
I do want to show them, like, our cousins, like, places, but hell no, hell no. Like, just as long as we can escape.
yeah, I don't think you'd have anything to worry about as long as you don't have anybody who's like a resident of the state who has legitimate claim to the children.
That
That's
is
the only thing. But if you have a family
ridiculous.
member who can stake claim of the children and they have them for, a period of time, then they are legitimized by the court. Even if you just sent them for a visit.
Oh my goodness. I have never I'm sorry. Like, I know you're not pulling my leg, but I'm actually a little shocked. Like, we don't have these laws here. So I'm just like, holy, like, oh my god, like, that this is so scary to have your babies, you know?
It is. It's terrifying. I don't advise anybody to have children in this state if you're not 100% fully confident in your partnership.
Yeah, well, I mean, I had a friend who basically left Canada, went to Bulgaria, stole my, and he fought so many times for Aurora, and her mom was just absolutely abusing her. And then eventually he just gave up. He was like, she's out of the country. I can't do anything more. I've invested probably $100,000 just trying to keep my daughter safe. I give up. I can't do anything more at this point. What do you do at that point? Like, like what? Send ceases to find this chick in Bulgaria? Like, it ain't
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Yeah, unless you have money for like an investigative team, like
And
PIs
after
or something like that.
10,
Yeah.
like, it was between 10 and $100,000, which, oh God, 20 years ago is probably like $500 now. Like, he tried 5 times. All the men in my life really tried in court, and it's automatic. Oh, you should go with the mom.
Yeah, and they do tend to have this kind of convoluted language that says, "Well, we prefer to keep the children with their natural parents, with the mother being preferential," you know. But and then there's all these things, and then when you get down to it, there are no parental rights in this state, and
No,
federally, in the U.S. there are no protected parental rights
no,
under the Constitution. Right? That's something that applies state to state, and most states don't really have.
that is the
Cons-
same like Canada. We're still trying to negotiate those waters. We don't even have solid legislation, and even times I'm sure this is like the states. You can be in the same state but go to a different county, and there's completely different laws.
yeah.
Like, you drive 5 miles out of town, you have a different jurisdiction. You can, it's not an issue.
Well, and then you have the appellate court, right? Like, so here you could say, okay, if this county ordinance is in violation of the state's constitution, I can appeal at the state level and then up to the federal level. But
And
that
then it
takes
just
so much time and money that
and
most people
money,
just,
time and
yeah.
money. Yeah. So a lot of people, they don't even have the resources to pursue it, you know?
hmm and they know that, and they will victimize those people,
Mhm.
especially if they know that you don't have resources to fight them.
Well, it was wonderful to talk to you, but I have interviews and meetings tomorrow. It is Monday.
No, I appreciate you coming. Yeah.
Monday. I appreciate this as well. And could I share this, like, to my ex? I'm going to share it anyway.
Yeah,
You're on
do
X
it.
now. You're on X now. I didn't share it during the StreamYard, but if you'd like to do another talk again sometime, I'm sure everyone I'd like a larger discussion on some of these topics. So thank you for your time and keep doing awesome music. Like that's the thing when I lost my other channel. I lost all your other channels, so and all my other videos of you and shit. So sorry for swearing, but I was like,
You can swear, that's fine. No, thank you. And to anybody, if you're in the
I
chat,
always loved those. Yeah,
if you subscribe to Cher's channel, she's got some of my music videos up there. So
thank you. Like I'll find them again. It's just I hate it when you lose a channel because you lose so much more like little random things. Like I loved like sometimes I get a notification and it's like you're doing a like little set at the bar. And I'm like, yay, you can go back to sleep and listen to this and go to work in the morning happy. Have a wonderful night, sir. Thank you so much.
you as well, Miss.
Thank you.
Well, it's been a while, so that was good to catch up. Crypta and I haven't talked in a while, so lots of fun. Yeah, subscribe to Cher Wilkes. She's got my videos as well as a bunch of other great live music content, the Sacramento, California music scene and surrounding neighboring communities. Um, yeah, I don't have any links up right now, but yeah, there's definitely stuff out there available. So yeah, I mean, going back to it though, I think like housing is the most important thing. If we can shelter everybody, that gives everybody a leg up in this arms race we call life, right? People just struggling to survive. People shouldn't struggle to survive in the United States or Canada or any of these supposedly civilized countries, right? And that's kind of my hot take on that one. So, oh yeah, that's been a thing for a while here too. Yeah, smoking in the car with your kids. Well, maybe a tangential conversation to be had there. Do I have the right to poison my children? I don't, Munchausen's by proxy or something. No, I mean I've never felt compelled to, you know, smoke in the vicinity of my children. I don't really think that's something we should do, but I don't know if that's something the state should have a law against. One of my earliest experiences with law enforcement here, I remember getting pulled over with not my with my stepchild at the time, my ex's child, um, and he was about a year and a half old and had undone the straps on his car seat, and he was behind me, so I couldn't see him, so I didn't realize he had undone the straps on his car seat and was attempting to climb out. And the cop pulled me over, let me know that, hey, your kid's getting loose. Um, they didn't fine me for that, and I was pretty young at the time, but I remember nearly shitting my pants. And subscribe to Cryptomaria as well. She said she doesn't have content on YouTube right now, but you can probably find links there, I'm assuming, for the Rumble and everything like that. Or if not, you got a wrench, post them there in the side chat. That's cool. Um, you know, the, by all rights, that cop could have, actually taken that kid from me. Under the California law, it's a lot of it's at the police officer's discretion. So, but I don't think keeping people in poverty helps anybody. And so that's like a fundamental part of my platform, what I would say is a solution oriented. Give people housing, give people health care, and you'll be on the right track for stability, for social stability. What do we want? We want people to be functional and productive in society. What do they need to do that? They need housing, they need health care, and they need food. If they don't have those three things, fundamentally, they're fucked. They're fucked, and you're expecting them to just. I don't know what you expect from people at that point. If you can't give them those basic necessities, I don't know what you're talking about. The richest nation in the world, we can't do that for our people. Not those, just three simple things. Can't do it. I don't know. It sounds to me like you're full of shit. You're not as wealthy as you pretend to be, or you're hoarding money for other purposes, you know, Jaguars and such. I don't know what you're spending your money on. It's really none of my business. My problem is that you can't provide people with the three basic necessities they need to be healthy and productive members of society. That should be our starting point. I don't know. I like that too. Crypto, yes. We should be able to discuss these things. These are the important things. I mean, I can disagree with you about religion or whatever, pineapple on pizza, but if we can come together in the middle on basic social and political issues and say, hey, these are problems we need to solve, we have the grounds for progress. That's all you need. Now kids have to be in a car seat until they are over 50 pounds. I'm pretty sure I think that was the law, if I remember correctly, when I got my license. It's been a long time now. All right. Well, we will listen to another song. Check out my Spotify playlists because they're awesome. And if nobody else wants to come in, I'll probably wrap before too long. But that was a great conversation. I really appreciate it, and thank you for coming in, Cryptomaria. Trusty Abe. Abe and about on a Monday morning now. So, this is why my channel will never get monetized. Much love to everybody. Got Cryptomaria as my guest. Share Willis, William Freeman, Halcyonic Kaiju, new subscriber Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. I'm gonna go check you out. Thank you for coming. Missing Mom helped me fix the mic issues as well early on in the chat, of course. Yeah, if you didn't check it out, I mean, there's a 3-part video thing checking out the Pocket Locker stream that I just. Oh, and Mr. Rainbow Parley, good to see you as well. First time seeing you here. Welcome. I'll check you out as well, or Wooly. And yeah, I don't know when I'll do my next video. It's hard to say. Wiggling wires. I think maybe that's the issue. I'll just replace this cable and then everything will be fine. Solution oriented. Much love to everyone. Be well, stay trusty. Be kind, but don't be a fucking pushover, right? That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Wrap up with one of my crazy discombobulated video clips. And, wishing you safe and happy Monday morning. Alright, that's it for me, folks. Oh, classic. Go with the classic.
I'm an ape. We all come from apes, but I don't throw ape in every conversation. Use ape to define myself. Use ape as an excuse to defecate in my thumbless mitt and then hurl it at you. I'm sorry, did I just splatter you with wet feces? I'm sorry, I have a very rich